Hey guys, how's it going? Just got a little bit of time in to go ahead and do the grinding of Chapter 5, Season 1. I haven't been on Fortnite in a while because of a family medical emergency, which I'll go into that later and probably make a second video, just to let you guys know what's been going on with me. Anyways, I did get some gameplay, so I just wanted to share with you guys my full settings and setup video for this chapter. A couple of you have been asking, you know, what I've been running, that sort of thing. So let's just get into it here. Let me get into our full screen real quick here. And if you don't know, they changed a whole bunch of stuff here. So to get in to our settings, whoops. You just hit the three lines, you come down here to the cogwheel, go to right to settings, and you're in the settings. And these are Xbox specific because, as you guys know, I play on Xbox Series X. I do have a PC, and some once in a while I play on PC, but for the most part I like to stay true to console. Let me go ahead and get this camera moved over here. I think that's probably going to be a better choice here of location. And let's see. All right, I think that'll work. Okay, so first off, we're just going to go through this. The graphics settings, I am playing in 120 FPS mode. I do play on a 14:4 monitor. Let me fix my camera here just a bit. It's a little off center. Okay, so I do play on 14, or not 14:4, Jesus. Let's just pull this up so you can see my actual settings for my display. Yeah, 1440p at 120, and I don't play in 4K. So that's the settings on my Xbox. Just to let you guys know. Yeah, so anyways, I'm in 120 FPS mode, brightness 100. User interface, that's just the darkness and brightness of the UI. That's 1x. Colorblind, I don't have any colorblind modes this season. I have used them in the past, and some of the past seasons you were able to spot llamas really easy with different settings, but this season I'm just going for none. Safe zone doesn't matter. Motion blur, turn this off if you're playing. All it does is when you're spinning around on your screen, turning, it's going to give you extra blur, and you don't want the extra blur. It's going to be weird and cause issues of you just seeing stuff. I do show my FPS so I can see how my FPS is performing in the top corner. I don't have report performance stats on just because I have another video regarding a lot of this stuff. If you turn off things that you're not using, it's going to make your Xbox way more responsive, and it's going to reduce the input delay like dramatically. And there's a few settings that do that dramatically, and we'll go over those. But I actually have another video. It's a pretty old video, but it's still true. All of the same settings are pretty much here in the game if you want to give that a look too. So moving over to audio, these are all pretty much, you know, specific to my needs. So they're going to be different for you for the audio. Main I have at 89, music 75, sound effects 75, dialogue 100, voice chat 80, cinemax 75, picture-in-picture 50. Subtitles, if you go into this, this is one of the things that reduces your input delay on Fortnite on console, I feel like. And if it doesn't still, it most certainly did in some of the previous seasons. But now that Unreal Engine is a more updated version, it might not affect it as much. But definitely, I noticed the difference with these when I set them this way to help the input delay. So I have subtitles off. I have the text size set at extra small, text color, excuse me, white, text border none, background opacity clear. And then backing out of there, we'll go back here. Back to sound. Visualize sound effects. You do want this on, and I'm going to give you a little play pro tip here. If you're, you should know, but if you're coming in new, you might not. But back in the day, you weren't able to use visual sound effects and 3D sound on your headphones, so you had to pick one or the other. And mainly visual sound effects were for the hearing impaired, so we pretty much all relied on 3D. And you could tell, you know, if a player was above you, below you, that sort of thing. Well, they allow us to use both now, and they nerfed the 3D sound a little bit, I feel like, because it's not as accurate as it once was, but that could just be me. And then but you can have visualized sound effects too with it, and so you'll be able to see little footsteps on your screen to know where an enemy is, or chests, or that sort of thing. But a pro tip: when you're in a build fight or fighting somebody, try to always face those footsteps. Even if you can't see them on your screen, they might be above you or below you, and if they drop down, if you're facing them, you might be able to get a pre-fire shot on them, that sort of thing. But you know, you're gonna be able to track your opponent better if you follow those. Okay, so moving on: voice chat off, voice reporting off, mic check, chat method, open mic. And these are all specific to you. You might want to have push to talk, something like that. Voice chat notifications on. That's if somebody wants to voice chat with you. And creator options, licensed audio. This is more for content creators, because if you're streaming on YouTube or creating YouTube content, there's certain sounds and emotes that aren't allowed on there, just for pretty much copyright things. So you would change this to mute, or mute others, or mute all. So if like people you're streaming with play, you know, copyright content, it blocks it so it doesn't come through. All right, moving on over here to just the main settings. So matchmaking region, you're going to want to set this to auto. It'll pick the one that has the best ping closest to you, and sometimes the one that's closest to you might not have the best ping, depending on if they're having issues with servers, that sort of thing. And I'm just going to stick in here, if you have a high ping, I would suggest playing zero builds versus builds, because high ping is hard to play in builds. It's hard to take walls. It's hard to hold them. It's hard to steal them. So anyways, so movement, I have toggle sprint on. I have auto open doors on. That way, if I accidentally mess up an edit, like a window edit or something, or even like a corner edit, and I accidentally make a door edit while I'm moving, I'll just walk through the door. So that's a good one, I feel like, to have on. Mantle activation, I have that hold to jump. Hurdle activation, I have press to jump. Combat, hold to swap pickup. I keep that off. Again, the more things you have off, the better performance you're going to get, the more frames, the less input delay. Toggle targeting, I have off. Mark danger when targeting, I have on. Auto pick up weapons, I have off. I prefer to pick up the weapons I want at any given time. I don't like to just walk over them and have them go into my inventory randomly. Preferred item slots, I do not use this. I have no problems organizing my loot by hand, and that's what I've always done, so I'm used to that. Auto sort consumables to the right, I also have off. Same thing. Building, reset building choice, I have that on. Disable pre-edit option, I have that on. Turbo building, I have on. And this is a big one: auto confirm edits, I have it on both reset and edit, so that way it's just one touch, so I don't have to confirm an edit. As soon as I release the button, it automatically makes the edit. And the same thing with a reset. All I have to do is hit the reset. I don't have to confirm it, so it makes it a little bit faster. Some people say it's easier to do with your fingers and they can do it faster, and that might be true on mouse and keyboard. I don't feel like it's as such on controller though. And that's more what my settings are. So tips, I have those off. Again, the more things you have off, the less input delay. Extra game options, invert view off. Invert airborne controls, I actually have this on just from years of playing like flight simulator type games and things where the controls are inverted. I'm used to that. So if and when they add X-Wings back in, or the airplanes and whatnot. I'm way better at flying them because I'm used to inverted controls. And these have to do with creative mode, turbo delete. I have that off. Tap search interact. That's when you're opening a chest rather than holding down the button. You just press the button once and it'll search the chest. Low input latency mode, it's on, but it's not actually on. You can see on the screen over here that it's, whoops, don't save. Sorry, I backed out and hit the wrong button there. You'll see on my screen that it's grayed out. Where was that? Down here. It's grayed out because I'm playing on 120 FPS. If you're playing on 60, definitely turn this on. It's gonna reduce your lag and your input delay. FOV minimum and maximum. These are brand new settings that were just added today, and no one's quite sure what they do yet, but I think what they might do is in different screens, like in the game, and my camera is driving me nuts. Okay, in different scenes in the game, like for instance when you're gliding in or when you're driving a vehicle, I think they might make your FOV a little bit bigger, so you can actually set the minimum FOV and you can set the maximum FOV. So if you want the minimum to be, not go below 70 degrees, you can set that, and you can set the maximum to up to like 105. It doesn't look like it raises it much, but you could set your minimum to like 75, and that would give you the most in those scenes. I don't believe it affects the actual game right now, but if it does, it's such a small amount that it's really hard to see. But I'll get some more information on that as people check out the update and see what's going on with that. But for now, I'm just going to leave mine on the default 70-100. Record replays, I have this off. This is a big one for console. You don't want to be recording replays of games that you've played unless you want to go back and review them and see like what you did wrong and like what the other player did. If you lose a fight, that's kind of good just for practice and stuff. But otherwise, I would generally leave this off because you're gonna take a big performance hit if you have this on, because you're basically recording your entire game onto your console while you're playing. Same thing with record large team replays and record creative replays. Have them all off. These things are just for color configuration things. So we'll go on to the game UI settings. So we have reticle right here. I have that on. Of course, you want a reticle on your screen. I actually knew a player way back that didn't know somehow their reticle got turned off, and they played with this thing off all the time, and they still got wins. I don't know how, but yeah, pretty crazy. Reticle ammo indicator, that's the little thing under your reticle that tells you how much ammo is in your gun. You can have that on or off, that's up to you. Damage numbers list, I have this set as list. There's also a cumulative, and what list does, as you do damage on a player, it'll show the amount of damage that you did per shot on list. So if you hit 2 shots totaling 40, it'll show 20 if each shot was 20. And then like if it's cumulative, when you hit the first shot, it'll show 20, and when you hit the next shot, it'll show 40. So that's how that works. But I leave mine on list because I'm used to that, the old school way of kind of doing the math in my head. And at one time there was an issue with aim assist that having it on cumulative totally broke aim assist, so I'm just leaving it on list just to be sure. Reticle damage feedback, I have that on hit only. You can change it to hit and icons or off, whatever you want, but that basically tells you if you hit. And then the icon thing shows that you hit, and there's a little icon that pops up, but I have it on hit only. Damage number scales, I have it on 100. This is how big or small it's going to show those damage numbers when you shoot the player. HUD scale, I have it at 100. I'm blind as a bat. I might up this at some point as my vision gets worse. But at one time I had this down at like 65, but I just couldn't do it anymore. I was like squinting down in the corner trying to see how many mats I had and stuff. So now I just leave it at 100. Show spectator count. If you don't want to see people spectating, turn it off. Again, more things off. That's the less your game has to do and keep track of and display on the screen. So it could improve your performance. I leave it on though, just for the heck of it. I like to see how many people are spectating, or if any are at all. Player health, that shows your player health bar. Of course, you want to know how much health you have. Leave that on. Resources, that's all your mats. Of course, you want to have that on. You want to know how many mats you have. Minimap, you want that on. You want your minimap to be displayed in the corner so you know where the heck you're going, where the storm is, that sort of thing. Quick bar, I believe that's the weapon bar down below where you select your weapons. You'll want that on. Target info, that's the information, I believe, when you're like shooting a wall and it shows like how much damage it's taken and how much is left before the wall is destroyed. Keep that, I have that on. Pick up loot stream. This actually shows over by the text chat, and that's another thing we'll talk about later that you'll want to turn off. But to pick up loot stream, I have this off because what this does is it's an added extra element on your overlay that is kind of redundant, and it uses extra system resources to display every one of these things. So the more you can turn off, and I keep harping on this, but seriously, it helped the input delay. When I first got my Xbox Series X a lot. I was able to switch back and forth from PC to Xbox, and it was very close. Of course, PC was a little bit less input delay. Of course, console has a little bit more, but I was able to get it really close by turning off things that aren't necessary. So the pickup loot stream, what it does, as you run over loot, it'll have a little indicator that says picked up 50 wood or picked up 10 shotgun shells or whatever. That's what it does, but you already know what it is because it goes down into your hotbar thing where your mats are, or into your ammo by your gun. So it's kind of redundant to have this on there, so I just turn it off. I know what my full amount of mats are down there. That's all I need to know. Map and backpack keys, I have this off. This was for a special mode, and if they add a game back in that uses this, I'll turn it on. But I think it was the Getaway Gang, and like you had to go and get like a map and then get the backpack and the keys, and you ended up getting like a llama backpack or something for those missions on that special mode, but I leave it off. Elimination feed, that shows the feed in the corner if somebody's down in the bottom corner, if somebody's just dominating or shooting people, or if you get killed, you can look and see like what it'll say like you got no scoped or whatever. Net debug stats, that just shows it'll show information about how your frames are and your ping and stuff, which I always leave that up. Quest progress, I have that off. Those are more, again, for special modes, and if I'm not playing one of those games with the special mode that shows quests, then I leave it off. Control prompts, I don't remember offhand what this does. It's been a while since I've looked at this, but I do have it on, so it's probably something that you need. Creative runtime performance stats, I have that off. That's for creative. Going over here to mouse and keyboard, I don't play on mouse and keyboard, so these things are like don't matter, but even so, I just changed that. That's one of the things you'll notice too about the UI. Okay, watch this. So that I don't like on controller. So if I go back over here and I've got my controller and I go over to the right, look at it, instantly added an amount on there. So to not mess up your settings, you have to actually do the arrow does it too. You actually have to select it with A, I believe, or maybe no, you just go over with the right arrow and that works. I hope they fix that because it's easy to mess things up. Like I see that I already messed up like my main audio with that because I think I might have been at 90 on that, but I'll go back and look and see. So anyways, mouse and keyboard stuff, we'll just go down. I see if I use the arrow, it doesn't do that. And then you have to hit B to go back because if you press the arrow back, it'll take away numbers on there. So I'll just scroll through there. Nothing major there. Like again, I don't play on mouse and keyboard. All of these are mouse and keyboard binds, and most likely they're set to default because I think I've only played mouse and keyboard maybe a handful of times, and I was terrible at it. I've always played on controller on this game, but I've played mouse and keyboard games in the past, so I won't rule it out that I won't go that direction at some point, but if I do, it'll be on PC, not console. Here's the important ones. Controller. Okay, so controller auto run, I have that off. Build, I want to see. Okay, so that one doesn't do that unless you press A on it to actually adjust it, so that's good. I have that off. Build immediately, I have that on. That just means when you go and take out a piece, like a floor or a wall, it's going to place it immediately. And I don't think this has never worked for me on console. Turning it off if I pull out my wall, like it still builds immediately. Like, I don't think there's any difference to this setting. I think it's been broke forever. So correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure. Edit hold time, I have this set at the lowest, and I don't use that anyways because that's where you would be holding down well, first you'd press like B for your switch mode, and then you would hold down B to go into edit, but I have mine bound differently, and you'll see, so I don't use that. Slide hold time, I have it set at the maximum. I don't like to slide accidentally, and since I'm kind of a button masher, when I play, I have this set at the maximum so I don't accidentally slide, because I will, and I even will with it set at maximum, and I don't like to, but this kind of limits that for me. Reset camera access, I have it on pitch. These don't really like do much, and we don't have binds that we can set them for anyways on controller because we're like running out of spots here. Reset camera time, I have that set at the lowest, and vibration, I have that off. Everybody should know this, but if you don't, turn this off, because if you're trying to like precisely aim or snipe somebody for distance or even close up, you don't want your controller buzzing around while you're trying to make, you know, fine-tune adjustments to get them. It'll mess you up majorly. Quick weapon beta, this is kind of a beta thing for, it's basically you can assign different buttons to this so you can quick change to your weapons, so it makes it more like how the keyboard and mouse players, they just have one of their weapons assigned to a button, so each one is assigned to a button, so they don't have to scroll through like we do on controller. They can just go right to like their third slot, to their first slot, to their last slot. You can set this up to do the same thing, and there are some controller players out there that use this. I want to say like Upshaw uses this. If you haven't checked out his page, he's a pretty skilled controller player. Awesome dude, but he uses this and he swears by it. I myself cannot get my head wrapped around it, and I don't really have issues with switching weapons the old-fashioned way, so this doesn't really, I don't really use it. So anything that I have set here is to have it turned off. If you do use it, you should put the show diamond delay as disabled, because that'll show this little diamond thing in the corner that shows where the settings are. Like some other games do this too, but it's really irritating to have that up, so I would definitely disable that. Toggle behavior, slot 2, instant toggle off. My sensitivities, I'm using advanced, so these right here, these don't matter, and I know there was some speculation in the past that if you had these set to like fast or slow that they made you seem a little more, but I don't believe it. I think it's a placebo effect, so we'll just skip over that. Build mode, my sensitivity multiplier and edit mode sensitivity multiplier. These are multiples of your base look sensitivity. So whatever your look sensitivity is, if you change that, it's going to affect your build mode sensitivity. So both of these kind of go hand in hand. So a word to the wise, you can't adjust one without having to adjust the other. Okay, so because these are a multiplier of that base sensitivity. So both of mine are at 1.6. I am using advanced options. My horizontal look speed right now, I'm using 43%, vertical 42%. No boosts. Last season I was experimenting with some crazy boosts without aim assist, and it was working well, but I'm back to kind of more basic settings. I found my aim to be inconsistent at times, and it kind of coincided with updates, so I don't quite know why, but it would be like really good, and then they do an update, and then my aim would suck, and then they would do another update and it'd be good again. So I just felt like, I don't know if it was something on the back end or what, but I felt like the boosts just made my aim inconsistent, so I'm back to no boosts. And if you're not using boosts, then you don't need a turning boost ramp time. That's the amount of time that you hold down the stick all the way before that boost takes into effect. So say you add 5% boost on your vertical speed, you'd have your base speed of 42 plus 5, so you'd have like 47 total. So when you held down on the stick all the way for 0.20 seconds, which is the maximum boost ramp time I would recommend, it takes that long for it to go from 42 up to 47, if that makes sense. So it is usable on linear. On exponential, I wouldn't recommend it because exponential kind of does that anyways. But if you want a more exponential aiming feel on linear, but with linear's smoothness of building, this might be something you want to experiment with. And then instant boost when building. Mine's off because I'm not using boost. What this does is it instantly boosts you up to the 5% when you go into build mode. So your build mode look vertical speed, if you had 5% boost on there, it would be 47 instantly. There's no build up to it. So that's what that setting does. ADS, aim down sight sensitivities. I have my look horizontal at 13. I feel like that's a good even number for me to track opponents when I'm ADSing, both with the AR at distance and if I need to use the SMG at like mid range, that sort of thing. It seems like a good speed for me. And also if you know, I want to ADS to get a tighter spread on like shotgun aim and that sort of thing. And then my vertical speed, I have that set 3% lower. So, and the reason why is I just messed around with this in game, and I found that 10% was really good for me tracking people shockwaving straight up and down in the air. That I could track them really good with a 10%. So you might want to play around with that in creative. And the 13%, I found that was pretty good for me, like tracking them sideways, shockwaving, or you know, using the grappler. I was able to stay on them with my reticle. So, and I have no boosts I'm using with that. And again, no boost ramp time on those either. I have no look dampening time. What that does, again, it kind of adds that element of exponential where there's a delay in when you press your stick all the way. It basically dampens the time that your character looks from side to side. So you'll be like, you know, and you'll start out slow and then look. And if you use this, the max I would recommend is like 0.20 seconds. I think that was the default setting by Fortnite originally. But if you find yourself feeling when you play like a little loose and like you kind of feel like a bobblehead, like your screen feels like it's shaky or moves around a lot, you might want to try this because that might help. And then look input curve, I'm running linear. And aim assist strength, I'm back at 100%. I was using 0 with my boosts last season, and I was having good luck with close range shotgun. But I noticed that SMGs were really failing me with that setting. So, and then these are just some old settings where you could copy settings over from legacy settings, which aren't even a thing anymore. I don't know why they even have these in here. Dead zones, I have 12 and 10. These are all dependent on your controller, and as your controller ages, your dead zones go up because the sticks start to wear out. So what a dead zone is the lowest you can set this is at 5%, I believe, in Fortnite, unless they've changed it. But it used to be 5%. So if you set it at 5%, go into like creative and see like, and you have to do each stick by, by itself, the look, stick, and movement. If you find yourself moving when you're not pressing the stick, or if your thumb is just resting on it, then you need to up that until you don't move. And I would recommend saying this at the lowest possible setting you can set it at without moving. That being said, I play on 2 different controllers. I have an Xbox Series Elite that I have that other video for that a lot of you have watched. And then I have my new controller, which is I'll talk about at the end of this video, which is I'm really liking it because I had to send in my Xbox Series Elite to get fixed because I had a bumper that was broken that went out on it and stick drift, and Microsoft covered it all under warranty. I sent it in, they repaired it, sent it back, and it's awesome. Like, I could set it at 5% if I only use that controller, but I like to keep it around 12 to 10 just for consistency across all controllers. If I switch to a different controller or whatnot, it's just kind of the sweet spot for me. And if I end up going like above like 14%, that controller's like spent pretty much. It needs the sticks replaced because if you have that much stick drift, it's going to be hard to play. And I do know players that set theirs as high as 25, and they claim that it gives them extra aim assist or extra first shot accuracy. I don't know if this is true or not. And I've tinkered around with it, and I haven't noticed it doing that for me. So anyways, like I said, just set it as low as you can to where you're not moving or looking when you're not pressing the stick. Vehicles, accelerate with thumbstick. That's a given. And then all of my binds are weird. They're custom binds. Excuse me. I'll go through this real quick and let you know why I have things kind of weird. So they changed this screen and the whole UI of Fortnite, and I think they actually added the controller back over here. For a while the controller wasn't even on here, and I think a lot of people complained about it because I feel like we had a better UI before they updated it, and I felt like they went backwards, and it's the new UI, in my opinion, is kind of cheeks. But anyways, that being said, here's my bind. So the general one, jump, I have on the A button, crouch, tap, slash, slide, hold, repair, hold. Okay, so that's on my L stick, all of those. Sprint and auto run, double click, I have that on R. Fire is RT, target LT, reload X, next weapon RB, previous weapon LB, pretty standard there. Toggle harvest tool or carry, this is where it gets weird. This is on my up button, as you can see up above my head here. I did that because, again, I'm a button masher. A lot of people have those on their sticks or a face button, but I didn't have a spot for it. And I found that it was easiest for me to get to it there. And I do play single claw, so that's kind of one of the reasons. If you have paddles or something, you're probably not going to want to do these at all. And I wouldn't suggest my binds to anybody because they're very customized to me. If you want some good generalized ones, if you're not a button masher, like there's a ton of videos out there that you can kind of see of good controller binds. And even the old controller binds, old videos are still going to be relevant on this because they haven't changed that much. So moving on here, I don't have a bind for that, whatever it is. I think it's under something else. Place marker, I have that on the left D-pad. Nothing on push to talk, nothing on the rest of these on here. Into building. Building, my left D-pad is change material. My rotate and repair is the R stick. Trap, equip, picker, place, or use is X. Wall is RT. My floor is RB. Stairs, LT. Roof, LB, pretty standard there. This is another weird one. Toggle inventory is down, and I set it like this early on because I played a lot of other games where it was bound to that button for your inventory. And I also felt like in my brain it made sense, because if you're going to drop something on the ground, you would press down because it would like go out of your player. And most of the time, if I'm accessing my inventory in game, it's to like drop ammo to like, you know, my duo partner or mats or something like that. So it just seemed like it made sense to me, and I've stuck with it ever since. Nothing there. My squad requests, augment select. I have that on the little 2 squares button right here, just because of lack of buttons when they added augments. I wasn't sure where I wanted that, so I ended up putting it there. That selects it, and then I believe it's my right arrow on the D-pad to go through the augments and select them. Switch mode, B, that's pretty standard, and I don't have the hold thing like I was saying before, hold to edit, so that's because my edit is on Y. Crouch, tap, slide, hold, repair, L stick. Nothing in these guys. Emotes are on my right D-pad, and that's also the augment select like I was just saying. And then into edit. So my edit buttons are RT, LT, RB. And I had those set up like that long before confirm edit on release was a thing, and reset to nowadays I hardly ever have to use that confirm button, because pretty much all I have to do is do the edit and release it, and it does it, or the reset, so, and it does it automatically, which is nice. And I feel like it's faster on controller to do it that way. Some people might disagree with me, but I've done it both ways, and just feel like it was a lot faster to have it on both. Confirm LT, reset, RB. Sprint, auto run, double click is the R stick. Toggle map, I have that as the 2 squares. Toggle inventory, again on my down. Emote on my left D-pad. Edit building, that's how I go into edit. That's my Y button. Crouch tap, slide, hold, / repair, hold, that's my L stick. And emote and augment select, again, that's on the right D-pad. Emote on the right D-pad here as well, and I don't think there's anything else in here. And then miscellaneous, toggle map, the 2 squares. Toggle inventory, again my down button. Map zoom in, RT. Map zoom out, LT. Those are standard. My writing is X, my sprint is L, and that's it in there. We'll go over here and see if anything important is in here. Player surveys on. Post party, I don't use that. Filter mature language, I have this off again. I was going to talk about the text chat, which is coming up and like down here. If you have this off, it's again one more thing that your game isn't like processing in the background trying to filter mature language. And honestly, I don't even know if this thing works in text chat, because I don't know anybody that actually uses text chat. Like, especially on controller, you'd have to have like one of those little keyboard plug-in deals and be like, and it's much easier just to use, you know, earbuds or headphones and a mic or whatnot. And if you were playing on computer, I can't imagine you like typing to people either in game. So anyways, friend invite for permission, anyone, don't spam me with invites. Text chat off. Again, this is crazy. So they have a whole window that's for text chatting. I don't know why it still exists in Fortnite. I feel like it should have been removed like chapters and seasons ago. But yeah, there's a whole window that you can chat in, and this thing, when I turned it off, this is one of the main culprits that caused so much delay on my Xbox. I don't know if it's still like that, because we've went through quite a few versions of Unreal Engine, so we're not even on the same build anymore. But originally, this thing, when I turned it off, it was night and day. Like, I was like, oh my god, I have like no input delay. I feel like I'm playing almost on my PC. So definitely turn that off. I'm sure you're not using it anyways. Can receive gifts. I can always receive gifts. Bring them. No, just joking. Auto import friends on. That's like if you have like social media friends and stuff, I think, or other Epic friends. It'll import them immediately. Party joinable, I have that as invite only. So if you try to spam invite or get into my party, you have to be invited. Gameplay privacy. Public game stats, I have this off right now. A lot of times I leave it on, but this is like, so you can look at like your wins and kills and your KD and that sort of thing, and you can look them up on like Fortnite tracker and stuff. But since I haven't really been playing this season, I just turned it off. And to be honest, my stats are probably terrible, so you don't want to look at them anyways this season. The next one is hide your display name during regular gameplay. I like this one for when I'm live streaming, and I do live stream on Facebook. I'm thinking of maybe trying a couple on YouTube at some point here, and maybe Twitch, but for now I've always been Facebook based, and I'm just going to continue doing that because I just stream for fun, and most of my friends are on there. So, but anyways, this hides your display name. So if you're playing against somebody else and say they elim you, it pops up and it says eliminated anonymous 328, or you eliminate them, same thing. It doesn't show your name to them, so they don't know who you are. So if they're also streaming, trying to make content off of killing streamers or stream sniping or whatever, and it happens, I have been stream sniped a few times. It's very rare, but it does happen. But this just kind of, it doesn't stop it, but it takes the clout out of somebody making that kind of content, and it's just bad content. Show season level and feed. That's just if it shows to the other player like what level you are, which levels don't really mean anything in this game. But I leave it off just because, again, one more thing that my game doesn't need to keep track of. Allow a personalization of experience recommendations. I don't know what these are. These are like, I don't know if they're going to do targeted ads or what for the Epic Store or whatever, but it's another thing to turn off. And purchase recommendations, same thing. And this other discovering thing, all bizarre stuff that they are like privacy things. But again, I have that off. I don't want any recommendations. I don't want them target adding me or sending ads to me. And then this one, hide other display names during regular gameplay. This is also beneficial for streamers and content creators, because if you're playing and you let me think. So it's hiding your name during gameplay. So if you elim somebody, like, they're not going to know who you are, and if they elim you, this is actually display. Let me explain this differently. So this is actually the other player's name. So some people, like, say you're in a match and you're recording and you kill Ninja on his stream. Like, this person would be like, stream sniping him or something. So everybody on his stream can see their name as killing him, and then they think that they got some clout because, but everybody can get killed at any time. So there's really no badge to pin on your chest for that sort of thing at all. And we all play for fun. In the end of it, it's a game. So, but this is what it does. It hides their name so they can't do that over and over. So it kind of discourages people from making that kind of content and stream sniping people and coming into their stream and being like, look, you can look on this person's stream that I killed them because my name showed up. So what would happen is when they were elimed, it would say that they were elimed by player 358. The other thing that's nice too is it also blocks all of the just immature, stupid names. Like, somebody will name themselves like Seymour Butts or something like that. You won't see their name at all. It'll just say player 298, and you're like, okay, that was player 298. Awesome. So totally unidentifiable. If you kill a streamer like in your plane, you won't even know it, because it'll be like you killed Ninja and it's player 15. Of course, you're probably not going to kill Ninja because he has freaking awesome aim. So anyways, hidden matchmaking delay, that's also for streamers. Sometimes I use it, sometimes I don't. It depends on what's going on. It could be there's better ways to do that anyways, to discourage stream sniping, but that can help. And if you are thinking about streaming and stuff, these are things that you might want to keep, you know, and consider adding a delay. Better yet, keeping your screen covered up and where you're landing and that sort of thing. That's going to do wonders for you rather than the matchmaking delay, but it can help. And then these other two things are just credits for the game and legal information about the game. So that's pretty much it, my guys. Appreciate you guys watching this vid. It's a really long one. Oh, and I almost forgot. So while I was waiting for my Elite Series 2 controller to be repaired, I actually fell in love with another controller. And I'll take the cover off here, but it's this one. It's just a standard Xbox controller for Series S or X, but it's kind of a, I don't know if it's considered a limited edition one, but I think it's called the Stellar Shift maybe. But this thing, I don't know if they're making controllers better now, or if it's just this one and I got lucky, or if it's this run of controllers. But this one was actually on sale when I got it. But it has this cool, like, kind of purplish vibe going on, and you can't really tell, but it's like almost looks like metal flake, like some of the like automotive finishes. It's really cool, but this thing is amazing. Like I actually am liking this better than my Elite Series 2. I have been switching on and off, but I was mainly playing this while my Elite Series 2 was being fixed, because it did take some time sending it in. But again, kudos to Microsoft for actually standing behind their product and fully warrantying it, because those controllers aren't cheap, and they replaced the stuff that needed to be replaced on it. And sometime, if you want, I'll look and see if I can put in the description or below here of the video to let you know what skins these are, because I really like these skins. They give you really good grip and they feel really nice in the hands. They don't get sticky or anything, which some of the skins I feel like do, and even some of the controllers. And I have one on this. They'll fit the Elite Series 2 and the standard ones. And I also, the last part of my settings here, I do use Control Freaks. I use the Galaxy ones. I'm not sponsored by them or anybody or Microsoft or any of that. It's just the stuff that I like. And that's going to be it. So if you guys want any more info or need to know anything else, just drop a comment and I'll try to get back with you again. I'm going to try to get back on here and start grinding a little bit more, and putting in a little more screen time and streaming time, just to get back into the hang of things. And maybe those settings will change. If they do, I'll drop an update to the video. So we'll talk to you later, guys. Peace out.